What's up guys, JC here, and what I'm bringing you guys today is another tutorial video with some DayZ modding type stuff. What we're going to be doing today is we're going to be looking at creating custom magazines and basically changing some properties on weapons. So for tutorial instance, what we're going to be doing is we're going to take a 1911 and instead of it shooting 9x19, we're going to make it shoot 308 rounds. And instead of the magazine only being 7 rounds, we're going to make the magazine 70 rounds. So these are just some of the things that you can do. I'm going to show you how to set it up. I like to do it in multiple configs. So that's how I'm going to show you how to set it up. And it'll be it's going to be easy. It sounds daunting, but I promise you it'll be easy. And I'm going to give you all of the tools needed to get this done. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to create a folder on our desktop. I've already done it. So in this case, we named it Test Gun YouTube. And then inside this folder, we're going to create 2 more folders. So for me, I've always found it's best practice to try and break everything up. If you look at, this is a mod that I did for the Xmas servers. And you'll see when I go into my data folder, I have literally everything broken up. Here's all my weapons. You know, the gloves has its own config, the food, like, so everything, I like to give everything its own config. That way, you know, for sure, nothing is going to kind of mess up or nothing is going to overwrite something. It's just so much easier to kind of keep everything broken up. So that's the way we're going to do it. So go in, you're going to make 1 weapons and you're going to make 1 magazine. That's how I like to do it. So once we go into our weapons, I already have a PAA made just to make, you know, just to basically speed the process up. But if you want to keep it just a vanilla looking gun, then you don't even need a PAA, honestly. But if you want to make it look different, in this case, we have a golden one. All we've done is we've taken the normal PNG from the actual gun we're using, and then I just basically overlaid a free gold image over it. If you don't know how to get that, you can come right here. Let's see. We're going to open this up. We're going to go to where our DayZ is installed. You must have PBO manager, of course. We're going to go to our Steam apps, our common. We're going to find DayZ. We're going to come down to our add-ons folder. In this instance, we're using a pistol. So we're going to come down to weapons, pistols. We're going to come to the 1911, go into our data folder, and then this right here. So the 1911_co.paa. This is what you're going to want to drag to your desktop, and you would copy here. I already have it, as you can see. I'll do it, but cancel that. It's already right here. Once you have the PAA on your desktop, you would then open up your DayZ tools. You're going to come to your text view. And then you're just going to drag this in. And then here is the PNG file that you can edit. To make this editable, of course, you just file, save as, name it whatever you want, and then name it .png. And then just go to all files, and then you save it where you want, and then you'll have a PNG. Then you could take it to your favorite photo editing software, whether that be Photoshop, GIMP, Krita, whatever you like to use, and just basically overlay it however you want or design it however you please. So once we have that set, it's all about the configs, right? So we're going to come into our weapon config, and I've deleted everything. Well, no, I've kept the weapon the same. I'm going to send this to you guys. But let's just say, for argument's sake, we would have nothing here, right? You would basically need your CFG patches and then your class. So this is your actual mod name. All right. So you can name this whatever you really want, honestly, for this instance. But just understand you cannot have any spaces. You can't have anything like this. It's got to be an underscore or it's got to be one word. That's just the way it is. So then we come down, we close it, and then we have our CFG weapons. So this is where we're basically going to put all of our stuff from the gun. So you'll need the default class name. This is basically the class that you're going to be inheriting. You have to call, so this is the class you're inheriting. So it's the Colt 1911. but you actually have to define the class here. So we've defined the class Colt 1911, and then we've made the class test Colt. So this is the name of the item that is going to be in our XML files. So this is the name that we use to pull up inside of our tools. We put this in our types files. This is basically how the game reads it. And then this is the class that it's inheriting. So the reason why we always want to inherit an actual gun instead of like trying to make a base class. I mean, you can make a base class if you really wanted to, like a pistol base or a Colt base, but I don't like doing that, because essentially that means I would have to define everything. Now, if I just inherit the Colt 1911, everything is going to basically be a vanilla Colt, but what I change. Does that make sense? So instead of like trying to make an entirely new gun and have to go through all of the damage values and all of that crap, I can just change what I want, and then the rest will just be the vanilla gun. So the item weight, the item size, the durability, the whole nine. If you really wanted to change all of that, you absolutely could. You can basically do it in here, but for this tutorial purpose, I don't want to go on a huge tangent. I just want to say this is what we're doing. We're just making it shoot 308 rounds. So once you have your weapons kind of essentially done, and I'm going to provide these configs for you, so it's not a huge deal. You don't need to stress. But if you want to add a second gun, I'm going to show you how to actually get this information. So in the Discord channel, I have provided all of these configs for you, and all of these are unbinarized, so they're just easy to hop into. So we're going to go to firearms and say we want to add the MP5. So you open up the MP5. Now here, like I said, you have your rifle base class, or this is like the MP5 base class. And then if we just come on down, here's our MP5K. So like I said, the base class is going to define everything. And then the MP5 just basically covers over like the hidden selections and all of that stuff, the attachments, blah, blah, blah. So say you wanted to add this gun to it. What I would recommend you do, if you don't want to change anything of the vanilla guns, you're literally just going to copy this, come over to our weapons config, which is right here, and you're going to paste it like that. You're going to define this class as an MP5, and then you're literally just going to go like that. And then bam, we would now have an MP5 in our game. We would call this like _test, and then we would have another MP5. But we're not doing that today. I'm just trying to explain that's how you would get a weapon, you know, from the default config into your config. So what we have is just this gun right here. So by default, the chamberable from is going to say 9x19 or whatever the case may be. We want to change this to ammo 308 and ammo 308 wind tracer. If you don't want it shooting tracer rounds, then you just keep this gone, but it makes sense to shoot both ammos. And then magazines. So you're going to want to, you have to define the magazine. Now, every time you make a custom gun, you have to tell it, okay, if you want to use a custom magazine, that is, you have to define all of the magazines that will actually fit into the handgun. If I leave this blank, it will only load the regular 9mm magazine, but the gun will not fire because that is 9x19. You get what I'm saying? So we have to define that we want it to only shoot our magazine. So essentially that is this done. Hidden selection textures, you're going to want to take it to your PAA file. If you're keeping it just looking like the normal, basically like the normal vanilla Colt, you don't even need this line. You could actually just get rid of this altogether and it will look just like the normal Colt in game. But I'm assuming you want to make it special, so you're going to add a hidden selection textures line and you're going to call out your PAA. So essentially that is the CFG weapons part done. Your gun is done. So now we're going to come over to our ammo. I'm calling this, so we're, like I said, we're creating a new config, CFG patches for this class. This is the mod name. We're just calling it YouTube ammo. And then your CFG magazines is going to be completely empty. So how do we get the magazine that we need? So again, we're going to come into our DayZ shit. We're going to scroll down to our vanilla configs. Whoops, wrong one. We're going to come into weapons. We're going to come into our magazines config that I've already given you. And then we're going to type in Colt. Oh, sorry. Let's just do 1911. I forgot. It's named differently here. So this is basically the magazine for a 1911. So we're going to copy all of this. We're going to come back to our config. And we're going to paste it right here. So now in our own config, we just have a base 1911. This is just the base gun. Everything's base, or the base magazine. I'm sorry. It's in ours. But now we need to edit it to make it our actual magazine. So let's go ahead and save. We're going to get rid of this magazine base. And we're going to make it inherit the 1911 7 round. And again, remember, every time you add something new, you have to define the class. So we're going to say class. We're going to copy, mag 1911 7 round. But we're going to change this to 70 round. That way we know it's in the types files. It's going to say it's a 70 round magazine. So let's go ahead and hit save. So display name, we're going to call this, what you can basically call this whatever you want. This is what it says when you hover over the item. In this instance, I'm just going to say, hi YouTube. And then the description short, this will basically say, whenever you hover over the gun, this is the description that you read. Let's just say, subscribe, because you guys are cool. The model, we can keep it the same model. This is okay. So we have our item size 1x2, typical handgun magazine size. Now the count. So this is how many rounds are actually in the magazine. So we're going to change this to 70. So the ammo is 45 ACP. I was saying 9mm earlier. I was totally wrong. It's 45. Duh. The ammo is set to 45 ACP, and the ammo items is set to, ammo 45. We need to change this. So what we're going to do is we need to copy this right here, the ammo 308 win, and we are going to replace this in here. So this tells us that this magazine takes the ammo 308 win. That's how you would load it, what you would load it with. Now the ammo, like the actual ammo that it shoots, this needs to be changed to 308 win as well, instead of 45 ACP. And that's it. That's essentially it. If we save this right now and we pack it, our in-game, our gun will shoot a 70 round magazine, and it will be loaded with 308 Winchester rounds. So let's get into game, and we're going to test this real quick. So to test this, what I like to use is I use an offline mode, basically. So we're going to come to our add-on builder. We're going to choose our folder of, we named it test YouTube gun. If you open this up, you have two different, we just want to grab the entire folder. And then I have a folder inside my root directory of my game. And it's basically, it's a folder that I send all of my mods to just to test. So if you're looking for it, we're going to come to our D drive, Steam, we go into common, we go into DayZ, and then I basically have a mods folder, and we're sending it to my add-ons. This, like I said, this is just how I test all of my mods. So we're going to pack it. Whoops, wrong button. And then we're going to go ahead and we're going to load our batch file, which is going to load us into a community offline test server that allows me to test my mods. The reason why I do it this way is so I don't have to sit here and upload it to Steam or try and run it through editor, DayZ editor, and like load local mods. I don't do all of that. I could literally just pack, I can run the batch file, and it just brings me in the game, and that's it. Also, what I like about using this method is if there are any errors in my config, as soon as I go to fire my batch, it will tell me what my errors are and what line those errors are on. even though I've been doing this for a while, I still make mistakes where I'll be like, oh crap, I forgot a comma. Oh crap, I forgot a semicolon, you know? So I still make mistakes. So that's why I recommend everyone to use this offline mode. So we're going to come into here. We're going to name it a Colt. Here's our test Colt. As you can see, it's golden. So we're just going to throw that on the ground. And then we called it a 70 round mag. So we're just going to type in 70. And as you'll see, here is a mag 1911 70 round. So if I pick it up, you'll see it's called Hi YouTube, and its description says subscribe. We're going to empty the magazine. And as you can see, it takes 308 rounds. So we're going to go ahead and load it back up. And then what we're going to do is we're going to pick up this gun. It's just Hi YouTube, subscribe. And we're going to be able to now put this magazine into this gun, and it's actually shooting 308 rounds. And it's that simple. Now, if I was to, just for tutorial sake, if I was to spawn in another 1911 round, say the 7 round magazine, this has 45s in it. As you can see, it will no longer take this magazine because we've defined it to only take 308 rounds. So now this still sounds like a normal 45 ACP gun. You can take it a step further and you can change the sound sets if you want it to sound, say, like a foul shooting or a tundra, if you really wanted to. I wouldn't recommend going and doing all that, but you can do that. But this tutorial is not going to cover that. What this tutorial wanted to cover was just how to actually change the magazine size and basically make a custom round go into any gun. So if you really wanted to, you could take the Ruger 22 and you can make it shoot 308. Now, keep in mind that it's not going to be like, oh, it's still only doing the damage of a 45. That's wrong. It's now doing the damage of a 308 round, because that is all. The damage from the bullets themselves are done in the actual bullet config itself. That's where it does the velocity and all of that kind of good stuff. So even though it sounds like a 45, it's doing the damage of a 308. So again, that's it. It's really that simple. Again, if we take this out, we know that this right here, like I said, we'll empty the magazine just one more time to show you guys that it is actually shooting 308 win rounds. Now, if we really wanted to, we could load this with 308 tracer rounds. It'll do the same thing. Now, I know it still looks like it's 45 because we haven't changed what the model of the gun looks like. You can do that if you really wanted to. But like I said, for tutorial purposes, I'm just trying to show you the quickest way to essentially change the caliber type of whatever gun you want, the magazine size, the whole nine. If I really wanted to, I can make this a vanilla magazine, even though it only holds 7 rounds. We can make this a 700 round magazine if we really, really wanted to. And that's it. It's as simple as that. I know it looks daunting. I know it looks super confusing. I try and be clear in the tutorials. I try and be very clear and be straight to the point. I don't like to beat around the bush a whole lot. But that's really all you got to do. It's super simple. So again, we're going to open up our configs. You're going to need 2 configs. It just works best that way. You're going to get a weapons config. You call it whatever you want. You can name it what you want. You can basically design the gun however you please. And then we come over here to our config. And then we can just kind of change this however we want it to change. Like I said, you can change the weapon count. If we want this to be 120 rounds, we would just make this 120. And now it'll shoot, you know, it'll hold up to 120 rounds inside the little tiny magazine. These are the sound sets for basically what it sounds like when your mag is being filled and when your mag's being empty, so on and so forth. If you want to change the way the gun sounds itself, then it's a little bit more intricate. I can do a tutorial on that, on how to change the sounds of weapons if you guys really want that. That would take another 15 minutes or so in itself, and I like to try and keep these videos somewhat short, even though this one's kind of run on a little bit longer than I would have liked it to. I can do that. Just let me know. Again, all of these files that I have here, all of the vanilla configs, they're already broken down and they are already unbinarized for you. If you want these, they are in the Discord. There's a link below. But this is basically almost every common item that people are going to reskin. Everything is already broken down. All of the backpacks, everything is already opened up for you. It's the easiest way to go through and essentially reference the vanilla stuff, so you know what to change, you know what you're looking for. You can look at the way they have theirs done, you can tell the way, like how they have theirs laid out, so on and so forth. So I hope this helped. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If it did, a thumbs up would be awesome. Share it with your friends, all that kind of good stuff. If you have any questions, please let me know. Feel free to hit me up. You're more than welcome to join the Discord. There's a lot of us in there who like to give knowledge. We share our configs, just kind of help each other out. Another Discord that I could recommend you to is the Infusion Modders Discord. Those guys are fantastic. They do a lot of stuff, and some of them are very helpful, some of them are very mean. That's why I kind of like doing my own thing, but I really won't get into that. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, a thumbs up would be super fantastic, and I'll catch you guys later.